Alright, we're back for round 4, winning the die roll again, and having a hand that any blue mage would love, because Search for Counter is the best, and it's going to bail us out of our lack of interaction. We're leading Sulphur Falls because all the other lands will come in untapped. Swamp doesn't mean anything. We can use Champion of Wits to take to interaction, but I suspect our opponent's on some sort of Grixis deck. Yep, we'll dump an Ether Hub. Champion. Probably gets countered if our opponent has an Essence Scatter. But if we're playing that sort of matchup, I have a Searcher's counter in play, which means that I am a favourite. Esper. Okay. This should be fun. Yep, I'll dump that. Could have done with that Champion of Wits resolving by the looks of things, but that's okay. So this is a more traditional control matchup than against blue-white. They don't have, well, in that they have cards that matter, apart from Teferi. Oh no, let's do Siphon. Let's just let our opponent kill that so that they can't Glimmer. Damn, they're going to Glimmer and kill it on their turn. Oh, never mind, they don't have a Glimmer. That's nice. But yeah, this should be more interesting. Forsake the Worldly? Oh, come on. The one-of main deck Forsake the Worldly that I was playing all the time I was playing Esper, so I can't complain about it. We're not going to get Hulk for no value. There's a good chance we just tap out to Eternalize next turn. Our opponent's missing land drops at least. This has to be disallowed. Or I get the draw 4 discard 2, which I would really like. It has been disallowed though, which is a shame. Alright, we're just jamming Teferi here while I'm tapped out. That would make sense. I mean, I presume that's a Scarab God. It is a Scarab God in some ugly Yu-Gi-Oh card disguise. And it is gone. So I could play one of my threats here, but I don't want to. Just play something into open mana. I want to draw to something that matters. Have a fight on his end step with the Gear Hulk, I think. Embrace not terrible because of it killing Gear Hulk. Oh, that's perfect. Alright. I've got Hieroglyphic Illumination to fight on the end step. This is the card I wanted to draw. I just thought, oh, it's a one-of, I can't be that greedy. But apparently I can. And this is part of the reason we wanted an effect like this. We were talking about putting one of the Glimmers in the main deck, but then Luke / Twisted Wombat decided to go ahead and just go with a Hieroglyphic Illumination, because hitting your land drops is just so important that having a cycling card really helps with that. Cast it here though. Again, try and extract maximum value from all of my cards. That's a fundamental I'm actually trying to work on, is to get the most out of all of my cards and try and line them up in such a way that I get to do that. And that's part of what we saw playing against the blue-white Teferi deck in round 1, is that you just want to get the most out of all of your cards. Especially in that post-board game where we were so ruthless. Woo! More lands! Just what we wanted. As much as land drops are great in control mirrors, I don't really want this many. Like, you want to be ahead of your opponent. You don't want to be so far ahead of your opponent. That's fine, because we have the Field of Ruin, as long as they don't draw their Field of Ruin before the search flips. Because we just have the one copy of Search in our deck before sideboarding. We're going to try a Scarab God here. This is probably getting Essence Scattered. But that's fine, because it hopefully means that our Scarab God will resolve. Oh, boo. Alright. Sort of running away from us now. Okay, our opponent's only going to get the one activation at least. Hopefully he activates, we draw something that punishes him. First tapping mana. And they missed, which is perfect. We're lucky we got to Field of Ruin and actually search for basics. We've only got the mountain left in our deck because we've drawn all of our basics. It's pretty funny, I suppose. Perfect. The second Field of Ruin. We're reasonably threat dense. We'll draw one at some point. Likely Liana. So we can try and wait, but our opponent's got 2 disallowals in their deck that counter this, maybe a negate. So I think I'm just going to jam. Looks like they have a Gearhulk, which is fine, it'll resolve, they'll disallow, and then we'll abrade. So still just traded some cards there. If our opponent only had one white source, I was probably going to a Field of Ruin them there to try and lock Teferi in the hand a bit longer, but oh, that's a good draw. Hopefully it resolves. Our opponent's unlike, well, our opponent can't syncopate it because there's so many bad cards, and we're going to discard Fatal Push, Fetid Balls. I'm going to wait on the Doomfall until we have something to cast that matters, and try and clear away with the Doomfall. Maybe we can even exile their Scarab God. That's what goes down. This looks like a Glimmer though. No. No, our opponent just passed. Okay. I was thinking about Torrential Gale, maybe. We do really want this to die and not be exiled. Cool. Right, we're probably Doomfalling this turn, but I'm going to attack first. So I'd really like this Glint Sleeve Siphoner to resolve. It probably won't, but who can hope? It might resolve, it might get countered. Torrential Gearhulk, we are definitely Essence Scattering. But it looks like we have a fight on our hands. Well, Wrath's Contempt's annoying because we did want to get rid of that, and we are going to trade all of our resources off, and we're going to take the Fatal Push on the basis that our opponent's going to have to use 2 mana next turn, but we are just going to trade cards here. Not that making him use mana this turn is going to be particularly impactful, I think, but yeah, well, he's hellbent. We have a Vraska's Contempt. We are technically ahead. We probably have similar amounts of live draws. That's all you can really hope for. Just going to cycle that now in case we draw a Scarab God, something like that. Scatter's a good draw. We've already gone through 2 Gearhulks and 1 Scarab God. So we're about halfway through the creature threats. We also have to be aware of Teferi because that's what the splash white's for. But we're probably both drawing some amount of dead removal spells. Although they're less dead for our opponent because we have actual creatures in our deck. Our opponent's overtaken us in lands now, but once we've reached this stage in the game, I think we'll be alright. Certainly pre-board where there's not huge numbers of counterspells, just significant. Should probably keep a land in hand actually if I draw another Champion of Wits. We've lost 2 already and there's 1 more and we've only got 22 cards left, so about 5% chance that we get punished for playing the land. Our opponent's going to Field of Ruin. Well, we might as well Field of Ruin back. Taking out this because it's the unique land, for whatever that's worth. I don't think it matters in the slightest, but the fact we don't have any basics to search up is why. The fact that tap for white means we've got a Teferi in our future, or a Search for Ascanter, which we will negate now that we've lost our second Field of Ruin. This is getting countered back, so we are probably going to lose now, unless we draw a Scarab God quite soon, or a Liliana, or a Bolas. Play out the land because we're going to want to defend this from a Torrential Gearhulk. Cool, so we get the discard trigger, which is always going to be nice. I need to double row the graveyard. We are just going to immediately flip this. Hope our opponent doesn't have a Contempt to punish us, but this is part of the reason why I don't like Cast Down, because there's just so many legendary threats at the moment that Cast Down's a bit awkward against things that aren't mono green. And even against mono green, it doesn't kill Ronus, it doesn't kill Golter, which are the 2 most threatening cards. Fatal Push, sure. Right, transformed. Ah! Boo! Alright, we need to draw something to outpace this Search for Ascanter pretty quickly. Our opponent's still got two or three Teferi in his deck. The draw Teferi this turn's pretty brutal because we can't Contempt it. And as they're activating Search for Ascanter, they probably can find a Teferi. Found a Disallow. Okay. The Braid is completely useless at this point. 1/1 removal spell doesn't matter when it doesn't hit Teferi or Scarab God. On the bright side, we can protect our Scarab God from Vraska's Contempt by Scarab Godding Scarab God. So this Bolas will just get disallowed. So I just have to save it, there's no point trading 1 for 1. Just have to try and draw another threat next turn. We've still got plenty. And they're going to glimmer. That's really not good for us. Just getting away from us. There's the Teferi. So you should activate search main phase here. It didn't. So I'm going to start by cycling the Canyon Slow. Okay, so I think we're looking at 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have a Contempt in the graveyard, so it's end step Contempt of Fairy, then Gearhulk Contempt of Fairy. In my own end step. As in with Search for counter activation. On the stack, so they used a disallow here. And then to defend from, no, we'd rather already played a Gearhulk, so we'll let the disallow resolve. Because we have the Essence Scatter for his Gearhulk, if he wants to use that. Okay, Glimmer. It's not ideal, but fine. It's one on top, one on bottom. So that probably means we're getting Essence Scattered. Yeah. Damn. Right. We could have waited till our opponent's end step, but that lets them get an as counter activation off, a draw step and a Teferi activation. Which is why I didn't. Yeah. Pretty sure we don't have outs here. Unless we run our opponent out of cards that matter. We discarded a Fairy though. I'm going to get the Contempt out of his hand, because Scarab God is the way we get back into this. That can probably counter a Scarab God. So we have to draw another threat to bait it out. Because he's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18 mana. And we have 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, because we've discarded some lands to our Champion of Wits. So as far as contempts, we have 1, 2 used. Just 2, so we've still got 2 contempts to draw to. Which helps. Impulse. Well, the bolus is technically a draw, something he probably has to syncopate. Okay. We're getting through our opponent's cards, but I think Teferi is going to achieve ultimate, which we can't beat. I don't think. Again, similar to blue-white, we have got a clock advantage here. Let's remember the syncopate and look at the graveyards. Seems more useful. So as far as threats our opponent's gone through, they've got 1 Gearhulk, 2 Gearhulks in the bin, and 1 Scarab God exiled still, that's all. So still got plenty of threats. They've taken the Teferi up to 9, which makes sense. They've got 3 cards left in the deck, which they should know. That's probably why they're not activating as counter. We have to try and essence scatter this, because we can't beat it. And then he probably plays out his Gearhulks to defend it. I still got Disallow left. Fair enough. I think we're playing for the clock here. Yeah, it's fine. My opponent's realised he needs to kill our Glintsleeve Siphoner. I'm just going to braid this now. But yeah, we can't beat this active Torrential Gearhulk. Sorry, active Scarab God even. we're just going to play our cards as quickly as possible and make our opponent kill us, which shouldn't take long. He's probably going to do it in the next 30-40 seconds, but that does mean he does have to win a game in half as much time as we have to win two. So we should be able to win this on the clock. I don't know what the arrows are doing here, but yep. Have a Siphoner. All your energy, you can even use it to draw a card. Why don't you say yes to your Grixis Siphoner triggers? No? Okay. Fair enough. Gets to scry 2, that's more clicks. See, this turn's taking him nearly a whole minute. So the chances of him being able to win game 2 quickly enough are basically 0. Play Champion of Wits. Waste some more of his time. Yep, that's fine. Going to eternalize it, waste some more. Alright, so our opponent's won game 1 on turn 33 with 6 minutes left on his clock. So we are probably going to win the match, as is the nature of Magic Online. Right, so there we go. It's not ideal to win like that, but you take them as you can. We're going to board like we did in the previous round of our control matchup. So goodbye Fatal Push, goodbye Braids. This time, however, Scarab God is alright. And they don't have the same complexion of cards, so we do have a lot more cards that are good here. Like, I still want Essence Scatter against his Torrential Gearhulks and as a hedge against our opponent having Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. So I'm going to show the champion. Liliana's good, the card draw's all good. Supreme Will's probably quite weak if the game's going to go long. I think we can shave a Scarab God maybe. Seems really strange. And doing full because it's clunky maybe? Doing full because it's clunky. This is one matchup I'll have to think about a bit more because I expect over the course of the GP to play against Esper at least once, because it does still show up, more so than Mighty Vehicles does at least, and we do seem to have more cards to bring in than take out. We might adjust this for game 3. based on what our opponent's done, but if we get that far, we're probably just winning by default on the clock. Sounds good. We get to just present a glint sleeve Siphoner immediately and make our opponent have an answer, and otherwise we have plenty of land drops. Ah, no, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. We're definitely supposed to play the Ether Hub there. I was just rushing. So now our opponent doesn't have to kill it this turn, although it looks like he's going to. I was going to play the own glint sleeve Siphoner, like I suspected. Okay, we don't really want to play Ether Hub this turn anymore. This is one matchup similar to the Mirror, where I quite like having Walking Ballista in my sideboard as a way to deal with glint sleeve Siphoners and not just be a dead removal spell if they don't have them. Our opponent's going hard on the glint sleeve Siphoners. Suppose they do have to win. And they might if we keep drawing like this. And we definitely were supposed to play the Ether Hub again there, which is really stupid of me. We've definitely sideboarded wrong because this is the way we lose in 6 minutes, so we should be sideboarding against this. There's probably a bit of a different complexion to these matchups in paper because the person who wins game 1 has a huge advantage. Alright, let's go Champion of Wits. It's going to get countered, unsurprisingly. No, we can't. Okay. Just going to play that before I forget to again. But we probably screwed this up a little bit. Okay, Contempt's a good draw, as is Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Play one. And pass. I'm going to double block. Looks like our opponent's going to try and kill one of ours. So we're going to do the same. Gives us time, and time is all we need. Our opponent can't really punish us by sticking anything, unless it's a Teferi. Ha 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 ha! We've drawn so badly, your duress missed. Oh dear. So, our opponent knows about the Gear Hulk, so I'm going to try Liliana instead. Let's not misclick ruthlessly. This is in the hope that their counterspell is an Essence Scatter. But that's fine. And yeah, our plan is to stick this Gear Hulk. Hopefully we draw one of our negates or Jace's defeats to defend it with. That's a strange play because he knows about our Contempt in our graveyard and our Gear Hulk in our hand. And presumably this means he's got a removal spell in hand. No, just a ton of Gear Hulks. Ugh. So I have to attack with a Siphoner this turn in order to draw a card off it. And then next turn I need it to be a blocker, I think. Our opponent probably just main phase Gear Hulk's Contempt. This is a weird match. Yeah, takes out the Gear Hulk presumably. Just because it blocks his Gear Hulk. Yeah. Champion of Wits is a good draw. It's got 2 basics, play a hub, Contempt this Gear Hulk. Now we know our opponent has access to Gear Hulk, but no removal spell. So I'm going to get in with a Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. We can afford to take 2 in order to draw a card. We know our opponent's got Disallow, however, so we do really need to draw gas. Yep. You arrest me. You whiffed. Congratulations. So we Doomfall here. Do we Doomfall first or do we Glint-Sleeve first? And then what mode do we Doomfall? I presume we sack a creature. So we Glint-Sleeve first. Get him to Gear Hulk and counter this. And then we Doomfall him. Make him sacrifice a creature. Yeah. Now, if they sacrifice the Gear Hulk, that's great, we just trade. It's fine, doesn't matter. And if they Do this. It's also fine. We're just going to leave Blackwood's back to be safe. He needs 2 removal spells to win. I'm going to chomp. And we get to Eternalize next turn. He's got a disallow, okay. Gonna need something. And they've glimmered, so they're probably going to find a removal spell. They put 2 on the bottom there, which is what we needed to see. Teferi and Tucket. No. Ah, dear. So a little bit of missed sideboarding perhaps, and we managed to lose to Esper control. In a pretty gutting fashion, really. It's really hard to leave removal in this sort of matchups. We saw we were already short on cards. This is one of the advantages of a Braid, in that it can kill Torrential Gearhulk and Glint-Sleeve Siphoners if they have them. If we'd seen Ether Hubs in our opponent's mana base, I would have definitely been thinking of Glint-Sleeve Siphoner as being in our opponent's deck. When they don't have it, it's much more disguised, which is something for people to think about if they're wanting to play Esper. So yeah, down to 2 and 2. So we've got to try and win this last one to get our tickets back. And for some good practice, let's have an interesting one.